I added some rich sesame paste to my pungent spicy rice noodle soup, and I filmed every second of my masterpiece. Because some lowlife kept stealing my deliveries, I turned the freshly recorded video into a QR code, a little viewing gift for the delivery thief. You love eating my food, right? This time, I'll let you eat your fill. The second the bell rang, I bolted for the campus gate, ready to claim my delivery. My eyes swept the delivery rack again and again. A bad feeling crept into my gut. My delivery had been stolen yet again. Only 2 weeks into the semester, and this was already the 4th damn time. Refusing to accept it, I opened the photo from the courier. The spot where my spicy noodle soup should have been was completely empty. Not a trace of it. Who the hell stole my delivery this time? Students around me gave me sympathetic looks. The smell of everyone else's food made my stomach growl, and the fire in my chest burned hotter. Man, they've really got it in for you. Your luck is seriously rotten. Once or twice, fine, maybe let it go. But 4 times in 2 short weeks. Do I look like some easy little pushover? I dragged Liam Reed straight to the security office to check the security footage. I had to see exactly which shameless bastard pulled this stunt. But of course, it wasn't that simple. The security guard saw we were students and shoved us out with a stone face. Check what cameras? You want footage over petty nonsense like this? Am I supposed to do my job or not? Help me out, sir. My deliveries have gone missing several times already. I pulled 2 packs of premium cigarettes from my pocket and pressed them into his hand. The guard's expression softened a little. He grinned as he accepted the cigarettes. I thought we were finally getting somewhere, so I headed toward the surveillance desk. But the guard blocked me with his baton. He clicked his tongue impatiently. Did I say you could go over there? If you want to see the footage, have your academic advisor call me. My blood boiled on the spot, staring at his smug face. I clenched my fists. Liam Reed quickly grabbed my hand and shoved me off to the side. Forget it. Going head-to-head with him won't help. He's clearly a power-tripping jerk, a petty lowlife. He gets one tiny scrap of power and uses it to hassle students. I couldn't swallow it, so I decided to find Ms. Carver in her office. I needed her to call the guard for me, so I could check the cameras. Our academic advisor was pregnant at the time. When she heard my delivery had been stolen, she immediately agreed to make the call. Ms. Carver, you have no idea. This guy's luck is awful. Last time, his hot sour-glass noodle soup got stolen. This time, it was his pungent, spicy rice noodle soup. He's cursed, I swear. When was it stolen? Once, she asked that. I spilled everything, like a floodgate had opened. I told her every dish I ordered, and every time it happened. But then Ms. Carver put her phone away. Her whole expression changed. All right. Wait for my update. I froze for a second, Liam Reed and I looked at each other. Ms. Carver, didn't you just say you'd call for us? Be patient. As for this matter, I'll make sure you get an answer. No, Ms. Carver. I've already had my food stolen. Don't be so impatient. We also have to protect student privacy. And you should be considerate of me, since I'm pregnant. She picked up her phone and gestured for us to go back to the dorm. Liam Reed and I had no choice but to leave her office. On the way back, the more I thought about it, the stranger it felt. Hey, Liam, don't you think that was weird? Why would Miss Carver suddenly change her mind like that? Who knows? Guess you're just unlucky. Man, back in the dorm. Back in the dorm. I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. The anger kept boiling up in me. I was clearly the victim here. So why was I the one forced to swallow this humiliation? Am I just some total sucker? I bolted upright in bed. A revenge plan began forming in my head. So, you love stealing deliveries, huh? Fine, I'll give you plenty to steal. I spent the whole night figuring out the delivery thief's pattern. I realized that every super sour, extra spicy dish I'd ordered this semester, without exception, had been stolen. Meanwhile, the milder noodles had all survived, untouched. Then I went to the campus confession page and found other complaints about stolen deliveries. They proved my theory all over again. Right then, I ordered an extra spicy, pungent, rice noodle soup. All night long, I kept building my revenge plan in my head. I was too excited to sleep. At the first hint of dawn, I went into a public restroom and scooped up a few spoonfuls of thick yellow sludge. It came from hot-blooded young guys, after all, and that first morning batch was foul beyond imagination. Wearing gloves, holding my breath, and fighting back nausea. I filled a water bottle with that black-yellow sesame sauce looking sludge. I wrapped the bottle in several layers. It was sealed perfectly. Not a trace of the smell leaked out. You actually came up with something that ruthless. If the delivery thief steals yours today, they're going to hit the jackpot. My eyes gleamed with excitement. I could not wait for noon to come. This time, I deliberately waited by the campus gate early. The moment I got the extra spicy pungent rice noodle soup, I ducked straight into the restroom. The soup's funk and the restroom stench blended together perfectly. As soon as I opened the water bottle, The reek of oil and fake sesame paste shot straight to my head. It made me gag several times. I even stirred the rice noodle soup a few times. Only after making sure it was evenly mixed did I put the lid back on. Liam Reed held up his phone and recorded the whole thing. I put the rice noodle soup back on the delivery rack. Then I rubbed my hands together in excitement. It was Saturday. Not many people were ordering delivery. Mine was the only extra spicy meal on the rack. As long as the thief showed up, they would definitely go for it. Liam Reed and I stood a short distance away. We pretended to chat while watching every person who came to pick up food. Once the delivery pickup rushed past, the crowd thinned out. Liam Reed started getting impatient. What if the thief does not show up today? I kept my cool and told him to wait a little longer. Do not rush it. Just wait. Just wait. Even if they do not come today, I will stake this place out again tomorrow. The words had barely left my mouth when I saw someone strolling slowly up to the delivery rack. They looked left and right. Their movements were suspicious because we were standing far away. I could not see the person's face clearly, but their build looked a little strange. Their clothes did not look like something a college student would wear, either. I held my breath and quietly watched their movements. After glancing around, their hand reached toward the delivery rack. They went straight for my deluxe rice noodle soup. I could not hold back my excitement anymore. I strode toward them. Damn it. I finally caught you. I wanted to see which broke student couldn't even afford food and would stoop to something this shameless. Just as I was about to grab them and teach them a proper lesson, that person turned their head. I froze on the spot. What the hell? This was no student. It was clearly an old lady. It was our academic advisor's mother. Cold sweat broke out all over me. Liam Reed stiffened beside me too. Holy crap. Bro, you just ran into a tough customer. The old lady glanced at us and swaggered away like she owned the place. My mind raced. That old woman was stubborn and rude. Several times, when I went to Ms. Carver to sign an absence excuse, she stood nearby, cursing and grumbling. She blamed me for disturbing her daughter's rest. Out of respect for my elders, I never made an issue of it. Liam Reed put an arm around my shoulder in sympathy. No wonder Ms. Carver refused to check for you back then. Looks like she guessed it was her own mom. I was shaking with rage. For a moment, I did not know where to vent it. Ever since Ms. Carver got pregnant, her tastes had changed. I had seen her lining up for pungent spicy rice noodle soup more than once, but I still could not understand why a respectable university academic advisor would stoop to stealing deliveries for meals. Liam Reed looked at me with wicked satisfaction. I have hated that woman for ages. She gets one scrap of power and uses it to bully students. Last time, my stomach hurt like hell. I went to ask her for leave. She actually said if I was not dead, I could still go to class. So this counts as payback. Thinking about how she treated me in her office last time, my anger flared all over again. A delivery thief deserves to be punished. I do not care who they are. I stuck a QR code on the delivery rack. In big letters, it said, "Delivery Thief." I added a little something extra to the food you stole. Scan the code to watch the whole thing. No need to thank me. Thief. Scanning the QR code leads straight to the full video of me spiking it. I waited 40 minutes. I figured that was enough time to finish the pungent, spicy rice noodle soup. Only then did I call Ms. Carver. Ms. Carver, my delivery got stolen again. I really cannot take this anymore. I am calling the police. You want to call the police over something this small? You are an adult, and you are still wasting police resources. I do not approve. Ms. Carver, I do not have a choice. Either come help me handle it, or I really will call the police. I did not give her a chance to respond. I hung up at once. Liam Reed gave me a thumbs up. I told him to head back to the dorm first. I did not want to drag him into it. I waited for Miss Carver alone. Before long, Miss Carver hurried over. Her face had gone pale and tense. She looked at me with obvious irritation. Do not push this too far. If your delivery got stolen, just order another one. Why are you making trouble in the middle of the day? Her mother was right beside her too. She looked just as annoyed. I nodded obediently. My expression was sincere. Ms. Carver, I just thought about it, and you are right. It is only a small matter. I really should not have bothered you. Seeing me act so sensible, Miss Carver froze for a second. Then she nodded in satisfaction. Then I changed tack. After all, I looked at her and smiled. I added a little something extra to this delivery. I even posted a QR code so the delivery thief could watch the video. Once they find out, they'll be retching their guts out. They will never dare steal food again. Miss Carver looked at the QR code I had posted. Her face suddenly went deathly pale. What exactly did you do? If you are curious, Miss Carver, you can scan it and see for yourself. I filmed the whole process. Miss Carver's hand trembled as she held her phone. She opened the video. Her hand shook harder and harder. Then she suddenly covered her mouth and rushed to the trash can to vomit. Oh, what is wrong? Miss Carver hunched over the trash can. She could not stop throwing up. After a long while, Ms. Carver finally lifted her head weakly. She glared at me in fury. How could you put those things in the food? Ms. Carver. I did it to get back at the person stealing my deliveries. Why are you reacting so strongly? Ms. Carver was left speechless by my reply. Oh my God. Isn't that the delivery I brought you for lunch? Damn it all! What shameless bastard would put such filthy things in there? I raised an eyebrow. I looked at Ms. Carver. Mom, I told you not to take other people's deliveries. I told you to buy your own. There are so many deliveries here. Why would I need to buy anything? I covered my mouth, pretending I could not believe it. Ms. Carver, was it your mother who stole my delivery? Ms. Carver's face twisted with embarrassment and anger. At first, I thought I still had 1 semester left at school, and Ms. Carver had not stolen it herself. As long as they gave me a proper apology, I could be the bigger person and let it go. Why do you have to make it sound so nasty? What do you mean, stolen? My daughter is a teacher at this school. You students ought to buy her meals, as a show of respect. She rolled up her sleeves. She looked ready to fight. So you were the one who put those things in the noodles. You rotten little brat. If anything happens to my daughter after eating that, I will never let you off. She lunged at me, trying to hit me. I caught her by the arm. My face went cold too. I looked at Ms. Carver, waiting for an explanation. Ms. Carver held her belly. Her face darkened as she roared at me. Ethan Cole, what do you think you are doing? My mother is just an old woman. How would she understand any of this? It is just 1 delivery. I will pay you back. All right. Seeing how self-righteous she looked, I laughed from sheer anger. Sure enough, like mother, like daughter, the whole family was shameless trash. I stopped caring about saving anyone's dignity. I fired right back. You are an academic advisor, yet you let your own mother steal a student's food. That is shameless beyond belief. If I were you, I'd want to crawl into a hole and die. How do you still have the nerve to stand here whining? Ms. Carver's face flushed red with rage. Her chest kept heaving. I sneered and let go of the old lady. Then I described the whole spiking scene in vivid, disgusting detail. The more Ms. Carver listened, the worse her face looked. One hand clutched her stomach. Then she ran back to the trash can and retched again. She weakly leaned on the old lady for support. She glared at me viciously. You have gone too far. Even if my mom took your delivery by accident, you still had no right to take revenge on her. Do you have any respect for me as your academic advisor? God as my witness. When I added that little extra, I had no idea who had taken my delivery. But even if I had known, I would not have held back. I rolled my eyes. If I do not expose you and your mother for stealing deliveries, you should thank your lucky stars. Otherwise, if everyone finds out that an academic advisor stole a student's food, I'd love to see how you ever show your face again. I could not be bothered with her anymore. I turned to leave, but Ms. Carver suddenly cried out in pain. Her face went ghostly pale. She weakly slid down to the floor. Her mother blocked me at once. You are not going anywhere. Call the police. I am calling the police. Ms. Carver was taken to the hospital by ambulance. The doctor ordered some tests. There was nothing seriously wrong. The police arrived too. Her mother grabbed my hand. She shouted at me in a harsh, furious voice. You rotten little brat. If anything happens to my daughter or my precious grandchild, I will make you pay with your life. This is a hospital. Show some decency. Officer, I only took his delivery by accident, but he actually put bodily waste in the food. Oh, my poor daughter. She ate those filthy things. And she is pregnant. The officer looked at me. I shrugged. Then I pulled out my order history. I told the officer that her mother's so-called accident had already happened 4 times. The police had seen every kind of thug and scammer. They understood the situation at once. The officer stepped between me and the old lady. At your age, you are still stealing a student's food, and your daughter is an academic advisor. Imagine how humiliating that would be if word got out. A mediation case like this did not need a huge fuss. The officer planned to say a few calming words and leave. But, unexpectedly, Miss Carver refused to let it drop. Ethan Cole. Ethan Cole. All that education was truly wasted on you. How dare you maliciously retaliate against your classmates and teachers? Today, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I will post this on the campus confession page and let everyone judge. Let everyone see what this really is. Is it the academic advisor's fault for stealing food, or mine for protecting my own rights? A trashy advisor with a trashy mother. Well, that was an eye-opener. She could not even get a word out. Clearly, I had enraged her. Ms. Carver's chest heaved with anger. Her trembling finger pointed straight at me. The officer told me to say less. I could not be bothered to keep arguing with her. I turned to leave. But Miss Carver actually stopped the officer. With red-rimmed eyes, she pointed at me. Officer. He poisoned the food. It was intentional harm. You cannot just let him walk away. That was one hell of an accusation. I truly admired her nerve. Some people have no shame and no limits. I added something extra to the food I ordered, and she could still call that poisoning. It was my delivery. I could add whatever I wanted. If you had not taken it, you would never have eaten it. But Ms. Carver insisted that the police give her an explanation. Once she slapped that accusation on me, the officer could not simply smooth things over. The officer looked at me with a complicated expression. Whatever happened next, it was bound to bring me a lot of trouble. Apologize to me and my mom right now. Beg me. Then I might be merciful enough to let you off. After all, I am still your academic advisor. I can be the bigger person. She stared at my face, waiting to find a trace of fear there. I burst out laughing. I looked at her like she was an idiot. Officer, I did not do anything. You can watch the video. The video Liam Reed filmed for me was crystal clear. It was one continuous shot. There was no chance it had been faked. After I brought the spiked, pungent, spicy rice noodle soup out of the bathroom, I threw it straight into the trash. The one I put on the delivery rack was brand new. That video was only meant to make the thief sick. That pungent, spicy rice noodle soup you ate? I never even touched it. Do not even think about pinning this on me. Miss Carver pointed at me in disbelief. How can you be so scheming? How can you be so vicious? You deliberately scared my daughter. I am not done with you. Enough. Since he did not actually do anything, there is no poisoning case here. The officer was clearly fed up with these two unreasonable women. He let me leave along with them. When I got back to the dorm, Liam Reed rushed right up to me. How did it go, bro? Ms. Carver did not give you trouble, did she? Hayampiha. No. What could she do to me? She was the one at fault. I was not taking civil service or grad school exams. I was not chasing scholarships or honors either. The little power an advisor had was worth jack shit to me. If she stayed out of my way, fine. But if she dared to mess with me again, I would make sure everyone knew about it. Liam Reed gave a wicked little laugh. Then, he invited me to play games. Before long, I had pushed the whole thing out of my mind. For the next 2 months, Miss Carver and I had no contact at all. Things were so calm it actually made me uneasy. Liam Reed sensed something was off too. That old witch and her mother. They just let you off like that? I did not think much more of it. I figured she was afraid I would blow the matter up, so she chose to keep it quiet. As graduation drew closer, campus matters started piling up. Our class held meetings constantly. Ms. Carver kept taking shots at me. She was deliberately picking on me. Even if I took out my phone just to check the time during a meeting, she would walk over and needle me with snide remarks. Some students are about to enter the real world, yet they still do not know how to behave. The teacher is speaking up front, and he is playing on his phone below. Not a shred of manners. Even the friends around me could tell something was wrong. They messaged me to ask, what happened between you and Ms. Carver? Why is she always on your case? Liam Reed rolled his eyes, speechless. Who the hell still polices college students for using phones? She really thinks she is somebody. I put all my energy into job hunting and interviews. I could not be bothered to waste time trading verbal shots. A few snide remarks would not take a chunk out of me. She was the one getting herself worked up. What I did not expect was that she would actually mess with my coursework. I looked at my assignment, marked with several huge red X marks. My blood boiled. For 4 years of college, I had done everything by the book. I had never broken school rules, and I had never failed a class. So why the hell was my assignment failing? I could not swallow that humiliation anymore. I grabbed the assignment and stormed into the advisor's office. She was on the phone, chatting and laughing, sipping hot tea. Clearly, in a wonderful mood. Ms. Carver glanced at me calmly. I was only a little stricter than usual when grading. You should pay more attention in class. Seeing how casual and unbothered she looked, the vein at my temple throbbed beyond my control. My anger kept surging higher. This class assignment was just a routine exercise. Even the worst students got it all right every time. But she graded mine that harshly. When I went back to class, what would the person beside me think? What exactly do you want before you change the grade? Apologize to me publicly. Write a formal apology letter based on your behavior. Write a reflection statement. Do not write what actually happened. Just write directly that you had no manners and that you deeply understand your mistake. I could not hold back a cold laugh. She did not want me writing what happened because she was afraid I would reveal things she did not want exposed. A cold light flashed in my eyes. I had not even stepped into society yet, and this advisor had already taught me one hell of a lesson. She really showed me an advisor's so-called positive values. She was just dying to use her many years of professional teaching experience to beat the lesson into me and call it guidance, all to soothe her wounded little heart. I looked at her smug face and nodded. Fine. I agree. Back at the dorm, I immediately started writing the apology letter. Contrary to what she wanted, I laid out the whole story in crystal clear detail. I even bolded and enlarged the part about her mom mistakenly taking my deliveries 4 separate times. After Ms. Carver wrote, "Not recommended" on my employment recommendation letter, I finally recognized my mistake as the one with less power. I never should have gone against someone holding authority over me. That was like throwing eggs at a brick wall. I was wrong. I hope Miss Carver can spare me. I did not just post the apology letter on my social feed. I also submitted it to the campus confession page and video platforms. Liam Reed paid to boost the post. Soon, it hit the trending page. Miss Carver called me like a maniac. I blocked her. Then she lost it in my messages. "Are you trying to blow this whole thing up? The media is already paying attention to this. Delete it. Immediately. Otherwise, it will affect your academic progress. It is one thing if you fail to think this through for yourself. But are you not afraid of dragging your roommates into it?" Oh, so now she was threatening me. I took screenshots of those messages and posted them too. That instantly set off a firestorm. College students everywhere completely exploded. How much power does she think she has? How dare she threaten a student like that? Does she not see college students as people? An academic advisor, of all people, actually let her own mother steal students' deliveries. Humiliating as hell. Everyone call the university president. If they do not deal with this university belongs on the blacklist. The whole thing completely blew up. In just over 10 minutes, it had already been reposted hundreds of thousands of times. Because I had turned off my phone, the university president came to my dorm in person. Maybe he had realized I was not someone easy to push around. He wore a warm, gentle smile, and said he wanted to talk with me about the matter. My goal, from the start, had been to settle this completely. So of course, I agreed. Ms. Carver was in the university president's office. Her eyes were swollen red from crying, but they were filled with hatred. On the surface, the university president seemed sincere. He said all the usual official pleasantries, but still hoped I could reconcile with Ms. Carver and delete the posts. I got straight to the point. "President, there is no way I am deleting them. I know you were wronged in this matter. Ms. Carver was the one at fault. Ms. Carver, apologize to your student, now." The university president must have coached her beforehand. Ms. Carver lowered her head and muttered a weak apology. "See, your advisor has apologized to you. She's in a delicate condition right now. As a grown man, can you take one step back? Let this go." No. No. The university president's face darkened. "Mr. President, I never meant to blow this up. Ms. Carver was the one who kept provoking me again and again. She used her authority to make things hard for me. And now, with one flimsy apology, you expect this whole thing to be brushed aside. Public opinion is on my side too. My demand is simple. Fire her. Everything else is off the table." Damn, that was badass. The situation kept heating up. Plenty of outraged supporters showed up at our university gates, pressuring the school to give an explanation. Kind people also messaged me privately, teaching me how to protect myself, so the school could not pressure me. Under the pressure of public opinion, the university soon posted an announcement. Ms. Carver had been fired. At the same time, but I also received a message from a publicly traded company. I had been hired. Good news came one after another. Feeling generous, I treated Liam Reed to dinner. On the way, we ran into Ms. Carver as she was moving out of faculty housing. Her mother was packing things while cursing under her breath. "That worthless brat is so vicious. His parents clearly never taught him a thing. Ill-bred little bastard." I walked past her and gave her a cold look. "Old lady, watch your mouth. Your daughter ended up losing her job, and that is all on you." What? Liam Reed grinned and kicked at her pots and pans. A spoon rolled down the slope. The old lady was so furious she stamped her feet. She clutched her chest, wailing and groaning like she was about to collapse. I sneered. "Don't get mad. People with tempers like yours don't live long. You really should take care of yourself." The old lady panted hard, so angry she lunged to hit me. Liam and I bolted. I thought that after Ms. Carver was fired, the whole thing would end there. But I never imagined she could be this insane. The company HR rep called me and said they had received a complaint. It came from a woman. She claimed you behaved improperly at school and demanded that we fire you. My heart sank in an instant. "Do not worry too much. Since we hired you, it is because we value your ability. We're only informing you that this happened, so it does not cause trouble for you." I breathed a sigh of relief and thanked them again and again. If that crazy woman had managed to cost me the job I had fought so hard for, I would have kicked myself forever. Rage spread through my limbs. I was so pent up I was about to explode. Since she refused to know when to stop, I was not going to sit there and let her walk all over me. Ms. Carver's husband worked at a restaurant and banquet hall. Back when we had class gatherings, Ms. Carver recommended the place to us and kept hinting that we should go there. so I knew the address. I took a cab straight to the restaurant banquet hall where her husband worked. Her husband was receiving customers. I did not spare him a shred of dignity. I walked right up and stood in front of him. "Hello, are you Brenda Carver's husband?" I sat down on the sofa with a cold smile. "Your wife and your mother-in-law stole my takeout several times. Then she called my new company to file a complaint against me. Are you going to deal with that or not?" Seeing that I was clearly there to make trouble, his customers grabbed their bags and hurried out. The restaurant owner shot him a vicious glare, then came over with a big customer service smile. Hey, sir, what seems to be the problem?" "This is a personal dispute between me and your employee. His wife has seriously disrupted my life. Since she refuses to let me live in peace, I cannot let his family live in peace either." Carver's expression turned absolutely grim, forcing a smile. He asked me to talk outside. Of course, I refused. I sat there as a customer and would not leave. The owner's expression darkened. He sharply ordered Miss Carver's husband to fix it immediately, or not bother coming to work tomorrow. Miss Carver's husband's face went ashy. Still smiling stiffly, he pleaded every way he could. He promised he would go home and sort this out with his wife. Only then did I finally get up and leave. What I wanted was to stir up conflict in their family. A morally rotten, unemployed woman, dragging along a nightmare of a mother, was already on the back foot in her marriage. Now, she was even affecting her husband's job. Sure enough, the next day, Miss Carver called me in a furious panic. I blocked her without even looking. That little warning was nowhere near enough. That same evening, I went to the kindergarten where Brenda's little girl went to school. When Miss Carver came to pick up her child, I was holding candy and playing with her daughter. Miss Carver's face went white in an instant. She rushed over in a few quick strides and yanked her daughter away. Then she screamed at me hysterically. "What are you trying to do?" "I just happened to have time today. I was passing by on my way, so I played with your daughter for a bit." "Why did you go after my husband? Why did you come after my daughter? What do you want?" I narrowed my eyes slightly. My smile turned dangerous. "I would like to ask you the same thing. When you called my company's HR rep, what exactly were you trying to do?" "You are still pregnant, yet you still pull such vile stunts. You deserved it. Why should someone like you get a job? I am warning you. Do not go near my husband again. And do not come near my daughter." The little girl was so scared she burst into tears. I was not afraid in the slightest. My smile went cold. "I suggest you shut your mouth. I know where you live. I know where your husband works. And I know where your daughter goes to school." Every trace of color drained from Miss Carver's face. I stayed perfectly calm. "If I ever find out again that you are pulling some petty move behind my back, I absolutely will not let it go. I will make sure your husband's job gets ruined. Your daughter's classmates will all know. She has a thief for a mom and a thief for a grandma. And that is not all. Wherever you go, I will go. I promise your whole family will not have a single peaceful day." Miss Carver's lips trembled, but she said nothing. I knew she was scared. I had less to lose than she did. It was just one job. If I lost it, I could find another. Even if I could not, my parents could still support me. But she was different. She had lost her job. Her husband was the family's only source of income. After the scene I caused yesterday, they probably had a huge fight when he got home. Besides, she had worked on campus herself. She knew how much being isolated could hurt a student. If people found out her daughter had such a humiliating parent, no one would want to play with the girl anymore. I crouched down and patted the little girl on the head. I gave her the candy, and she laughed right away. I gave Miss Carver a cold glance, then turned and left. After that, Miss Carver finally behaved. I joined the company without a hitch. 3 months later, I passed probation. My boss valued my abilities and started grooming me as a key employee. Things were going great for me. Liam Reed told me Miss Carver got divorced. Honestly, he did not even need to tell me. I already knew a little about it. The whole thing had made the news. It started because Miss Carver's mother still could not kick her petty stealing habit. With no students' deliveries left to steal, she started stealing a neighbor's takeout instead. Somehow, something was wrong with the food, and it gave Miss Carver's severe diarrhea. By the time she was taken to the hospital, the baby was already gone. They caused a huge scene at the neighbor's home, demanding compensation. But that neighbor was not someone to mess with. They turned right around and called the media, exposing the whole thing. Sharp-eyed netizens took one look and realized this was the same old lady who had stolen students' takeout before. Everyone gloated over it. Last time, she got her daughter fired. Well, this time, she even cost her daughter the baby, and she still had the nerve to demand compensation from the neighbor. Her shamelessness really had no limit. Was she too broke to buy food? Those dirty hands of hers had to steal everywhere. Maybe even her unborn baby. Did not want a mother and grandmother like that either. Miss Carver hid at home, too afraid to go out. After reporters ambushed her husband on his way to work several times, he finally snapped. He went home and demanded a divorce from Miss Carver. Mark Carver took their daughter with him. The next time I saw Miss Carver, she had already lost her mind. She was rummaging through garbage piles for food when she spotted someone else's discarded takeout. An excited smile spread across her face. She quickly hugged it to her chest, as if terrified someone would snatch it away. Mrs. Carver followed beside her, looking impossibly old. She kept slapping her thighs, wailing what a curse it all was. I calmly looked away. Whatever happened to them, they brought it on themselves. They deserved no sympathy. I walked into the restaurant. Liam Reed already had a party room set up with drinks. Bro, cheers.